Welcome to episode 80 of Instant Expertise Marketing. We are currently amidst a four-part mini-series on the four foundational pillars that every offer needs to drive campaign results. In each of these four episodes, we are taking a deeper dive into what we have discovered about why some offers fail and others succeed. These insights are 35 years in the making because it's literally taken us that long to figure it out, even though it seems super simple. Along the way, we've listened to other experts from Russell Brunson to Frank Kern talk about offers and how to create great offers, but nothing like this. So let's go ahead and get into part two. I'm Yvette Brown, co-founder of X Promos. I became an entrepreneur at 23 when I began my promotions agency with my then 29-year-old business partner, Sherry Nomadi. Sherry won't be joining us today, but I think we will hear from her again in our next episode. So, like the last episode, I want to start by getting to why getting your offer right is so important. As you know, most all marketing is actually designed to get a prospect or a customer to take an action, whether it is to join a list, download a report, try something, or buy something else. And so, whether you're launching a product, building a campaign of some sort, building a website, a webinar, preparing for a trade show, or even driving reviews, your immediate goal is to compel your audience to take action and move towards the bigger goal, which is usually spending more money with your company. So, when you consider human nature, you realize that people need a reason to act. Without a deadline and some compelling reason to take action now, they're going to wait. So, your job as a marketer is to give them that reason to act right now. And the problem that we've encountered over the years is that often that reason to act is an afterthought. We're all kind of guilty of getting so focused on creating that thing, the new product, the trade show booth, that webinar, that we forget to give our prospects a reason to check it out to begin with. We get kind of, tied up in the advertising campaign, which is focused on like getting them eyeballs, let them know we have this thing, but we don't focus on that reason. And that's where your offer comes in. And when you do an offer right, which is what we call a signature offer, it compels your audience to take action. It also repels those who aren't in your ICP. And it typically, if it's really good and you have a strong USP, it cannot easily be replicated by your competitors. Now, you might be thinking that's a lot of hyperbole, but it's really not. Because a signature offer connects the essence of your brand to your ICP. And if you really do have a unique USP, as I guess that's a double unique, then that same offer would fail. It would fall flat if your competitors tried to replicate it. So now, like I've said, this really did take us 35 years to figure out. Since we launched our agency in 1989, we have been focused on creating compelling campaigns that exceed our customers' expectations. We do approach business differently than our competitors, and we showed that our approach worked for both consumer and B2B brands. And really, that's what we're here to share now. We have finally deconstructed that anatomy of an offer, and we figured out that there's four critical components or pillars that you need to solidify a truly signature offer for your brand. Now, if you're here in the last episode, we covered the structural skeleton, which is the core of your offer, right? It's that thing that you're offering your prospect or customer in exchange for having them take a specific action or task. So today, I'm going to go over pillar number 2. We're calling it the muscles or the mechanics of the offer. It's the specific mechanics of how the offer works. Now, for us, the mechanics of an offer are something that we completely nerd out on. And if I'm being honest, most marketers, unfortunately, really never give it a second thought. But it really is a critical piece of your puzzle because you see, the muscle mechanics can play a critical role, as much of a critical role as the other three pillars, if we're being honest. And we'll explain why in a second. So, first, I want to note that one of my favorite parts of creating strategically focused mechanics is that if you can actually tackle a secondary marketing objective with little additional muss or fuss. That is, you can get your campaign to work even harder because when you build the mechanics right, it can actually do more than one thing. So, for example, we often integrate trending technologies, and that could be like digital scratcher games, interactive quizzes, or like ROI calculators into client offers. This meets a secondary objective by helping a legacy brand, a brand that's been around for a while, seem more relevant, more relatable, and even more contemporary. And because of the quizzes and the information it's gathering, it can gather useful first party data that can help the sales and marketing team, either segment them or speak specifically to their needs or concerns going forward. So, let me give you, with that background, let me give you some examples of what constitutes the muscular mechanics of the offer and what this second pillar really is about. So, number one, an example is super obvious, it's gamification. Now, you probably know what gamification is, but did you know that there are countless ways to give away a prize, right? I think everyone is in agreement these days that gamification and rewards are useful in engaging employees, prospects, and customers. But did you know that you can get strategic in how you deliver that game to optimize your results? So, let me give you a couple examples here. Let's talk about trade shows. Okay. Oftentimes at trade shows, companies want to collect prospect names. Now, the old way of giving away a prize was to drop a business card into a fishbowl, right? You guys all remember that kind of strategy. And then a winner would be drawn sometime later, and the winner would receive their prize, possibly at the show or maybe when they get back home. But did you know that there's a much better and more strategic way you can approach that, especially with today's technology? So, to give away that same prize at today's trade show, you can, often do what people do, which is scan the badge and then randomly pick from there. But you can do more than that. You can create an engaging game. That could be a digital trivia game that shows that you know an industry. It might be an engaging skills competition tied to a corporate sponsorship you have, or it could even be an instant win vending machine that drops prizes when those prospects share about your product on social media. And those are just a couple, like, off the top type of things that we have done successfully in the past. Now, also, when winners share their prize with others, such as a trade show or at an in store event, it can entice other people to participate as well, and it helps build trust with the brand. And what I mean by that is, if you make a spectacle or an event out of giving away the prize, like when the winner is actually getting their prize, or when they get it, they open it to reveal something else. All of those things help create that incremental buzz that at a trade show brings people in and gets more to participate. And, we've actually implemented this type of tactic successfully, this type of mechanic, for both trade show events and in-store events. And we've literally done this for billion-dollar brands, both in the B2B space with Sage Software and B2B C space with Barbie. So it works across platforms, and it obviously works across age groups. And it is one tiny way that, just by changing the mechanics of how you deliver something, can make a huge impact on your results and how those prospects and customers feel about your brand. So, but mechanics aren't just related to gamification. So let's say, for instance, you have valuable content, and I say valuable content because you need to have valuable content to give away to prospects for them to even want to exchange some information with you, like their email address. So let's assume you have some valuable content to give away. Your mechanics of that offer could include delivering it as an interactive presentation. You could create an engaging quiz that delivers that information, or you could just send them a PDF. My question to you is, which one do you think better represents your brand? And which one is going to better resonate or create a positive impression with your prospect? As you think about that, that's effectively the impact of mechanics and why it matters. Now, it doesn't just end there. Speaking of delivery, let's say you're offering a reward for taking a trial or a demo or something that's sort of like more middle of the funnel. How you deliver that reward matters. What that reward matters, but that was something we covered in pillar number 1. But how you deliver it actually does matter. At this point, your prospect is considering your company and possibly your competitors. So everything you do matters as that prospect gets to know and like and trust you. Okay, you're trying to build a relationship with them, so what you're doing matters. So if you're, for instance, as we've done a few times before, giving away a Yeti mug with a demo, okay? You could either just get that fulfilled, sent off to the prospect in a plain generic box with a generic label, or you could hand wrap it with a handwritten note of thanks. So guess which one better connects with the prospects? Now, once again, you might be thinking, well, you might think that one does it, but who really knows? Well, fortunately for us, a fulfillment company did a deep dive study on what kind of packaging actually resonates best with recipients. They blind tested like 3 or 4 different levels, from plain generic boxes of, like literally, cheap craft boxes, all the way up to high level wrapping and beautiful packaging and that type of thing. According to the results, prospects best connected not with the super low or the super high level, but one of those that was in between. They connected with the version that felt most like it had the human touch, right? It was the one that looked like it had actually been touched by a human. It was still hand wrapped, but imperfectly hand wrapped, and had a little handwritten note included. Okay. That's why we do that whenever we're fulfilling projects, is we add that human touch, because it really does matter to your prospects, and a tiny increment in cost and effort in that can make a huge difference down the line when your sales teams are closing their deals. So today's takeaway is that mechanics matter. You need to be thinking specifically about how you can strategically structure your offer mechanics in such a way that your customer or prospect finds it frictionless and engaging, while it also best represents your brand. And for bonus points, you need to think about how you can weave in a secondary objective without destroying that trust you're building. So in summary, we've covered the importance of the first 2 pillars of the anatomy of an offer. First, the structural skeleton, and secondly, the muscle mechanics. And as always, thank you for listening in. Be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of the series. Always like and subscribe, right? And in our next episode, episode 81, we're going to be covering the 3rd pillar of the offer that's impacting your conversion rate, and also how you can fix that. And of course, if you need more guidance on creating your own brand signature offer, reach out to us at xpromos.com. But thanks again for coming today.